First, Nat took out a gun, and then before Quentin could do anything, so I'm gonna read fanfiction about me. You see, an active member of the audience of me and my friends wrote a story about us as a family. And now that she's pretty far with the story, she published it to Wattpad, so I'm going to be reading it to you. It's quite an interesting mix of genres. Let's get to it. Hi, my name is Tessa Simpkin. There is one thing you should know about my family. My family is not normal at all. Already sounds like mine. For example, I have 2 fathers and no mother. It happens more often than you think, I guess. In order to understand my family, we have to go back in time to the first time my fathers met each other. My fathers met each other at a party of Jared Coons. The names of my fathers are Shane Simpkin and Quentin Lightfeather. It's funny because I don't say my actual last name, so. They both knew Jared, so they went to the party and eventually started talking to each other. At the end of the party, they had become friends and they had each other's phone numbers. After the party, they saw each other a lot and fell in love with each other. They started dating, and after 1 year of dating, they decided to get married. When they were married for 1 year, Shane got pregnant. Okay, that's a little less common. They had no idea how it happened. After 9 months, Shane gave birth to a beautiful baby girl. They decided to name the baby Tessa. That baby girl is me. I grew up like any other child. The most hilarious thing is how you describe yourself, like how you say about yourself, beautiful baby girl, because that feels like something that I would write about myself. Like, and then there was Quentin. He was super cool. Everyone loved him. Like, that's the thing that I would do. I was loved by my 2 fathers, and there was never any trouble. The only thing that basically no one understood is how I couldn't have a mother. So basically everything was perfect until Quentin met Issa Chardon. Issa was married to a girl called Nat. Issa and Quentin started to hang out, and after a while, they fell in love. I don't need reading glasses, stop it. Quentin and Shane talked about what the best thing to do would be in this scenario and decided to get a divorce. Issa also divorced Nat, and Quentin and Issa got married. I stayed with Shane and would go to Issa and Quentin during the holidays. This story goes faster than a bullet train. 2 years after they got married, Issa got pregnant. 9 months later, my half-brother Lucas was born. I love my half-brother a lot. 3 years after Lucas was born, Issa got pregnant again, and 9 months later, my half-sister Femke was born. 2 years later, Shane decided to adopt Lucas so that Quentin, Issa, and Shane were all Lucas's parents. Issa and Quentin decided to adopt Jasper around the same time. Fun fact is, she made a flowchart on all the family matters. She sent it to me at some point. I'm gonna ask for that flowchart again. Here's the flowchart. You can pause it if you want to read it. To me, we were just a normal family, but everyone I told this to thought that I was crazy and that I told myself this story because the real story was too sad for me to handle. But this is a story and my family is real. Continue to next part. Years went by, and when Lucas was 20 years old, fun fact, in real life he's younger than me, he decided to adopt a child. He adopted a 3-year-old boy named Milo. Everything was normal, and 2 years later something happened. It was Quentin's birthday, and the whole family was there, including Quentin's father, Ryan Higa, my favorite YouTuber, and his mother, Dagmar Lightfeather. Everyone was having fun until Jared walked in and said, "Wait, Lucas is my son." Everyone was shocked. Quentin said, "But that is impossible. How could it happen?" Issa said, "I don't know. I never slept with him." "Allow me to explain," Jared said. And he started to explain. So apparently 22 years ago, Jared cloned himself and made the clone look like Quentin. The clone then went to Issa and she thought that it was Quentin. So they slept together and Issa became pregnant. The clone was sent away in a fidget spinner shaped spaceship. Reference to my old videos. This made things way more complicated than it already was. You don't say! Lucas was even more shocked than the rest. He couldn't understand how his mother wouldn't have noticed the difference. Lucas asked, "Why are you just telling us this now?" Jared said, "I didn't want to ruin Issa and Quentin's marriage, but I couldn't keep it a secret any longer, so yeah. Because there are some dangerous people out there hunting me, and I couldn't die without telling the truth to my son." I asked, "But why are people hunting you?" Jared answered, "Because I hacked into the YouTube account of Mark the Balloon, and Mark found out. But instead of going to the police, Mark hired some hitmen to kill me." The fun fact is, when she was writing this, I jokingly said there should be a balloon in there named Mark, but I never meant for it to be a living character. This is all on me. "Why did you hack his account?" Quentin asked. "If I didn't, other people would find and kill Lucas, so I had no choice." Then there was an awkward silence. Then they started to talk about different topics? No! This feels like something that should be addressed. Like, we found out that Jared regrets the fact that he cloned himself, but that he had no choice because otherwise he would have been abducted by the aliens. And that if he would have gotten abducted, he first wanted to have a child, and that he only wanted to have a child with the most beautiful girl he knew. I want a haircut! I can barely read. And the only reason that the aliens wanted to abduct Jared was because he was secretly half alien. It turned out that his mother was an alien, but that nobody knew. And when Jared found out about it about 22 years ago, the aliens immediately wanted to abduct him. There's so much happening in one paragraph. And then the clone stormed into the room with a gun in his hands. Jared said, "How can you be here? You should be far away in space!" "I came back because I was ordered to kill you," the clone said. "Wait, why do you have to kill him? Were you hired by Mark the Balloon?" Issa asked. The clone answered, "No. I was ordered by Mark to kill him." Wait, hold up. Did I read that wrong? "Were you hired by Mark the Balloon?" Issa asked. The clone answered, "No, I was ordered by Mark to kill him." Then why does he say no? You see, Mark is an alien and he was sent to Earth in order to find you so that we could kill you. Oh my god, what's happening here? Because you are not allowed to live anymore now that we found out that you are still here. The humans can never find out that we exist, and as long as you live, they might find out. So die. And the clone fired a shot at Jared. The bullet hit Jared in the chest. The clone walked away because he thought the job was done, and Jared fell on the ground. I immediately called an ambulance and Jared went to the hospital. Sadly, we heard that he died in the hospital. Lucas, Shane, Issa, and Quentin were devastated. We could all remember that sad day forever. Yeah, it doesn't feel like something you'd easily forget, to be honest. Hey, you remember that time alien clones thingies shot one of our friends slash family clone people after the balloon who wasn't next part. But life went on and we all had to get over it. What? My mom and stepfather came by. They took some laundry. Why I changed my shirt. Where were we? Oh yeah, they had to get over it. It was especially hard for Lucas because he had lost his father right after finding out the truth. Quentin didn't celebrate his birthday anymore after that because it reminded him too much of that tragic day. We also never spoke about what happened on that day. And on Jared's birthday, we all went to his grave without speaking to each other. We would just stand there in an awkward silence. Awkward silence? How is that feeling awkward? I feel like it's more of a mourning silence. There was also still fun stuff that happened. Like Shane, Quentin, and Issa got really big on YouTube. And Issa got in touch with Nat again, mainly because she wanted to see her again and she was afraid that if she didn't do it now, it might be too late. Why though? Because Jared died, we're suddenly all gonna die? Right after Jared died, Lucas isolated himself from everyone to deal with his feelings, and we only saw when he was hungry or thirsty. Oh, there should be the word him there. Quentin, on the other hand, just cried a lot, and if he wasn't crying, he was angry at everything. That sounds like how I deal with that kind of stuff. Shane was denying that it happened at first and trying to act the same as before it happened. After a while, Shane accepted that it happened and he couldn't do anything about it. I just walked around town a lot with no particular destination. I was running away from my feelings. The weird thing was, everywhere I went, I had the feeling that someone was following me. Yeah, it's called Twitter, but every time I turned around to look, there was no one there. Salespeople. 4 years later, oh wow, how old am I in this story? Because I'm a dad. 4 years later, Nat came over to Issa's and Quentin's house just to chat. It was right after Quentin got big on YouTube. Wait, didn't I already? Or did I get bigger? So Issa and Nat were talking while Quentin was recording a thank you video, and when the video was uploaded, he went downstairs and joined them. They were talking for a bit when they started talking about their YouTube careers. Issa went away to get everyone something to drink, and Quentin said to Nat that he just got really big on YouTube. So what's new with you? Nothing much. Yeah, so I got like super big on YouTube. Oh, okay, cool. So Quentin did a double dab. That is something that I would do. Then it all happened in a matter of seconds. First, Nat took out a gun, and then before Quentin could do anything, she shot him. The last thing he heard was Nat saying that it was done. Quentin died doing the double dab. Why would you kill off me? This must be what it feels like when your favorite character dies in Game of Thrones. I could really relate to me. Nat was nowhere to be found when Issa ran back after hearing the gun she had. As soon as she saw Quentin, she screamed. She immediately knew who had done it. She just didn't understand why Nat would do such a thing. I mean, there was only one person there, so. Issa, of course, told all of us what happened, and I was devastated. We didn't get much time to process what had happened, because the government had found that I only had 2 fathers, and the government said that if Shane didn't get married to a woman, they would take me away. What world is this? In what country is this? Gay marriage is alright in other places and So while we were planning Quentin's funeral, Shane also had to decide who he wanted to marry. So basically everything was chaos. I love how that's a sentence, like, so basically everything was chaos. We somehow managed to get everything done. Lucas, Femke, and Jasper and I took it upon us to plan the funeral while Shane and Issa planned their wedding. Hey, hold up! Why is my girlfriend suddenly marrying Shane, who I impregnated in the story? Whose plan was this? Whose plan was it to kill off the best character in the story? Me. Quentin. You see, Issa and Shane decided to get married because the change wouldn't have that big of an impact to us. it? Yeah, sure. The funeral would happen first, and a few days later they would get married. Of course, it felt weird that they got married not long after Quentin died, but there was just no other way. So many things happen in this story. Oh, internet, please just work for once. Come on, it's text. 1 month after we had stopped looking for Nat, I decided to start playing a sport. Why? So I started playing table tennis at a club called Doko's. While I was there, I met a guy called Raymond and we became friends. At first, I didn't tell him about my family yet, but I had to when we made plans to watch a movie at my place. So I did and said, oh, and he said, I'm so sorry for your loss. Still, your family might be weird, but I think they sound awesome. There was an alien hybrid clone person. There was a half alien, half human hybrid. 2 people were killed by a hit person who was also in the family. One of them being hired by a balloon or something. How does any of that sound cool? He was really nice and kind. After a while, I fell in love with him, but I was too afraid to tell him. So we just stayed friends. Everything was going well, and for once we were just like an average family. Oh, I should have noticed that the story's name is Your Average Family. After a year, almost everyone had finally gotten used to the new situation. Femke and Jesper were the only one that weren't okay with Isa's and Shane's marriage. And I even got used to the feeling of someone following me around. That is not good. That feeling had gone away for a while right before Quentin died, but after Shane and Isa got married, it had come back. And the weird feeling was that I wasn't the only one with that feeling. Milan and Lucas and Jesper felt it too. Isa and Shane had fallen in love. No, I object. And Jesper didn't like that. Didn't like that Isa had already moved on. He just didn't understand it. So he went away to deal with Quentin's death on his own. Like a year ago already? I mean, wasn't I his dad? I don't remember. Where's the flowchart? Jesper went to Starbucks in town, got something to drink and sat down alone at a table. He looked a bit sad. Then a random stranger walked up to him and asked him if he was okay. Jesper responded, no. Not at all. The stranger asked, do you want to talk about it to someone? I don't know. I don't want to be a burden to anyone, said Jesper. You won't be a burden. You just need to let it all out, the stranger said. In my head, the stranger is wearing a hood and a cloak. Okay, but before I vent, could you just tell me your name? Jesper asked. My name is Nathan. And what is yours? The stranger said. My name is Jesper, Jesper said. And then Jesper and Nathan started talking about all that had happened. The current end. Because you see, this story on Wattpad is continuous, and she's actually adding parts and chapters to it as she goes. But why did I have to die? I was one of the main characters. So, I mean, if you want to keep up with this story for fun, then you can check it out on Wattpad. I'm not sure how Wattpad works, but I'm linking it down in the description. So the only thing is, I know the girl who wrote it. She was at the meetup. She's at all of the streams and everything. So it makes it a little easier for me to process the story and everything like that. But I love it so much. Thank you for writing it. I love it when people make stuff like this. And I genuinely just really hope you enjoyed this story. Please let me know down below in the comments, what did you think of this story? And if you want 2 comedy videos weekly into your subscription box, you can of course subscribe to this channel. Every Saturday I post a comedy video to get to know each other a little bit better like this or a story. And every Wednesday I post something to solely entertain you. All that because I want to light up your day and make you smile, because I believe laughter and positivity improves your life. But above all, I really hope you like this video and I would love to see you next time.